Good morning and happy blessed Friday. I was thinking about the relationship between my son's father and I, and how it didn't work out. And at the time, I was young and very saddened about even the thought of having to um, have my son go between different homes. Um, and I think back then I was up against feeling the guilt and the shame of what family members were thinking or saying. Um, and that in itself kind of shut me down in a lot of ways. Um, I think growing up around seeing majority of the adults in my life being married, particularly the women being married and being with the same husband, usually until someone passed, weighed heavily on me because here I was, not married, with child, and now single mom only by title, and raising my son between two homes. And today, this year, he'll be 20, which is amazing that I think about that. But a huge part of me, having split him down the middle between my home and his father's home, I just feel like I missed out on 50% of his life. And so now, his second year in college, I'm still I'm trying to make up for time that I can't make up for because at this point he's older. Our relationship is changing. He's not my baby anymore. He doesn't want to come and watch too many movies or spend the night or anything that I guess I would feel like that was the time that I had missed out on. And that's okay. Like, relationships change as long as the connection is strong, the communication is strong, and the love is there. Everything changes in its own time, and space. But I wonder, for those who are raising children and splitting them between two homes, like, how does that make you feel? And are you aware of the impact and the difference in your child or children when they go between one home and back to another? Just like as adults, if you had to adjust in your day, so too do your children. There's an adjustment period. The rules that um, exist at your home might be different at the other parent's home. Um, and I think that's great because every home is ran differently. And then it's a matter of like both parents being on the same page. Not that your rules will align and match with the other household, because we don't know what goes on in either place, but that there's communication and that line of communication is open, so that because your child is already going between homes, which is a heck of an adjustment. And even if they look like they've adjusted well, it's an adjustment nonetheless. At least to be on the same page as much as possible and communicating those things in between the days that you have them or the child, and then they have them and the child, is extremely important. It boils down to homework, field trips, um, after school programs, recitals, games, whatever the case may be, so that even though the child is in a situation where it's at this point out of both parents' control, that there's a piece of staying connected and in communication that will help the child to flow a little differently, not feel like it's their fault that parents are not together, and that you can respect each other enough because you love your child or children enough and so much that you can communicate with the other parent, because that other parent represents your child. And so while certain things may feel like they're out of control, I believe that there are certain things that you can do to help your children or your child adjust from one place to another. And I talked about adulting, and adulting is particularly with a child or kids who are whose parents are split. It's being adult enough to put your own feelings aside, however you feel about that other parent, so long as they're not violent in any kind of way, for the sake of the children. Because when you speak ill of that other parent or treat that other parent bad, those kids are watching, and they see that, and that parent is also a mirror image of that child, and that child may feel like you don't love or like certain parts of them. So I say, be the best parents that you can be by setting your own personal feelings and thoughts aside, putting that child's needs and that child before anything, to do the best that you can in whether foreseen or unforeseen circumstances. And it's about parenting, and it's about being the best possible parents that you can be. Thank you for listening. I love you. Happy Blessed Friday.